Originally, it also started with me using my roommate's iPhone. I spent my school fees to purchase my first camera.
Wow.
That's presented me opportunities like being in a meeting with presidents. Presidents are in a meeting and I'm there. And I can hear whatever they are talking about.
Yeah.
I've worked with Agence France Presse, the Associated Press, Gavi, you've mentioned. I've worked with UNICEF. I've worked with NASA, USAID, Fair Trade, NFL. I don't think there is institutions that are dedicated to pushing it to like the very top.
All right.
You know, it's just like, okay, people just want to have people come and then
teach them, make some money,
give you some
certificate, and
then you go. But then there's more to it.
My name is Kwame Mati, and I am the host for AfroBiz Connect. AfroBiz Connect is a lively and informative show focused on African businesses and entrepreneurship. It features discussions, interviews, and analysis covering various business ventures, innovations, and success stories across the African continent. From startups to established enterprises, the show highlights the resilience, creativity, and determination of African entrepreneurs, offering valuable insights and resources to empower both seasoned entrepreneurs and those starting out on the African business landscape. Once again, my name is Kwame Mati. Follow us on this journey by subscribing to our channel.
Did we meet in 2022 or 2021?
Maybe 2021. I'm
2021.
not sure.
I think right after COVID.
Yeah, right after COVID. I think 2021. It's possible 2021. Yeah.
I think I remember when we first met, Easy Water had then applied for the UAE grant.
Yeah.
And you were brought in to come and interview us.
Yeah.
I think Linda forwarded an email to me, Dennis Nipah, and as usual, in the space in which we are, once you see a name, we go out and look at you and say, actually, Nipah sounded Ghanaian. Some UK boy or maybe I see some right here in Ghana guy. Charlie, how did you get there? How did you rise to that level?
I'm trying to remember how the contact came about. So I think there is a colleague in Nigeria who was contacted to recommend someone from Ghana.
Okay.
And then I think he also reached out to another colleague of his in Nigeria, and then I think the colleague recommended me, and then we spoke. And then, and then I think that was it. We started to talk and work. And I think that was it. So it was more like referrals or recommendations and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, today I went over your profile on LinkedIn. I see you call yourself a photojournalist.
Right.
How different is a photojournalist from a photographer?
Well, I think photojournalist is also a photographer. So for when you photography, there are so many categories that there is. So there's the wedding, there's the fashion, there's the commercial, there's the sports, there's the nature, there's the wildlife. There's so many of them. When it comes to photojournalism, it's more like it's journalism, but then this time you are visualizing it.
The story.
You are reporting with photographs.
All right.
No, you are reporting with visuals.
Okay.
So which also means that if you are reporting on something, you can't
change the narrative.
You can't change the narrative. You are reporting on what it is.
Okay.
You know, so with photojournalism, it means that you're showing the photos has to be what it is.
Okay.
So it means that there's less editing, there's less post-production.
Okay.
And you have to also be able to tell us you have to also use captions to tell what is in the photographs.
All right.
So, photojournalism is mainly reporting with photographs.
Okay.
It's mainly reporting with photographs.
All right.
As compared to fashion, where maybe things has to be deliberately, there has to be a setup, There's no. This
A lot
one,
of bench
when I show up,
work.
what I
Okay.
see
That's
is what I
pro-
photograph.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
if I find out in a way that, okay, this thing has been set up before I got here and photograph, I need to say it. I need
Okay.
to be able to say it. Okay, when I got here to photograph this is what I thought. I think it was set up for me to come and photograph.
Okay.
And that's valid.
All right.
So a typical example is forensic photography.
Okay.
So maybe there's a crime scene.
Okay.
Nobody's supposed to interfere.
Okay.
You know, so the photographer comes in, photograph what exactly is in the room and all that. So the moment we realize, okay, somebody came in to shift something, then we have to
The
question
person
it.
is started, right.
You, the photographer, have to be able to tell us that, okay, somebody shifted this from here to here. So
Right.
it's mainly reporting with images.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you get into the space? And then, I mean, whilst you were getting into the space, did you plan that is what you wanted to do, or you got into the space and realized that this was a better option?
So when photojournalism wasn't a thing that I saw at the very initial, it was just photography, you know, anything photographing and all that. And there's also a popular category called street photography, that, you know, people just photograph of people on the streets in somewhere, just hanging out. And so these are scenes or photographs that were not constructed. It's just happening, and then someone is seeing beauty in it and photographing it. And I thought it was very, very, very interesting.
Okay.
You know. So, but then I didn't initially start with that. I started doing everything because I had a camera.
Weddings,
Yeah.
birthday shoot.
Yeah, wedding, birthday shoot. But originally, it also started with me using my roommate's iPhone.
Okay.
He sleeps a lot, so it's always an opportunity to use his iPhone. So I think I was making photographs in the hostel a lot, and then the boys found interest that, okay, I was making photographs of their life in the hostel.
Whoa.
So anytime there is a celebration, someone is doing something, week celebration, everybody's like handing their phones to me
You to take
all
pictures.
that. So I think also it developed from that. I think all those times I didn't know photojournalism, so it was me getting into it, developing more interest into it.
Okay.
Like, okay, I think this is what I like, this is what I'm comfortable with,
Okay.
and this is what I'm very good at, and this is what, you know, gives me sleepless nights. So that was when I started digging deep into it, reading about it online, finding people who are actually doing it as a profession,
Okay.
understanding it, and then I decided to move that path.
All right.
You know, it was more of what satisfied my soul and what makes me happy that I've done. That got me to do that.
All right.
Yeah.
So it was more of what made you happy. Did you think about the money part then, or money wasn't part of the story then?
Money wasn't part of the story.
You sound like a DB, eh? If money is not part of the reason you choose a career, then
So money wasn't it at all. Because
Okay.
then I would have been shooting weddings and birthdays and stuff.
okay.
Because then who is paying you for doing street photography, especially here in Ghana?
All right.
Who's going to pay you? Why is so much in it? In school, I had friends who were saying, why am I making photos of people I don't know and I'm putting it online?
Yeah.
Whilst they are my friends and I'm not putting them online. And at that time, when the person asked me, I didn't understand, why will you
ask such a question?
why will you ask me that? Why are you not finding beauty in what I'm posting? But then I think later I understood why they'll say like, but then it wasn't money. And photojournalism, there's no money in it.
Okay.
You know? You may be able to live a decent life, you have a decent job, different life, but if you want to make money, then you should do commercial weddings. That they have the dough. Their
All
budget
right.
is huge.
All right.
Yeah, their budget is huge.
Okay.
Commercials, and because then more organizations put more money in commercials. Weddings, people pay big money for weddings, and I think maybe other stuff. If you want to make money, then you have to look at doing commercials. you know.
I think that someone, so for me, when we first got the email and I saw your name, I was like, wow, this is a Ghanaian doing so much. And I read your profile then, and then when you came in, I remember how many times you had to shoot every single scene. Sometimes we shot a scene more than 3 or 4 times just to get it right. Did you have a mentor then? Did you have to learn on the job? Did you get opportunities to train after school? Because I know you did accounting and finance. Probably will come there later. How did you arrive at all these?
So when I think after school, so the thing too is when I was going into my 3rd year, I spent my school fees to purchase my first camera.
Wow.
So I deferred my 3rd year. My parents didn't know. So the year I was supposed to complete, I didn't.
Wow.
And they had to find out. And then Charlie, my dad was furious. My dad was like,
I understand.
Because my dad is very intelligent man. He's an accountant and
you can know that you were doing accounting and finance.
Yeah. His desire was for me to, So what is photography, And this is a man who really worked hard for himself, put himself through school, and he's able to get it to a point. And then now you have the opportunity for you to not hustle like him, and then you say this what you
want to buy a camera.
Yeah, his firstborn. So
wow.
It's wild. So it was a thing between my dad and I. So I think so I was able to work. I remember there was this wedding that I was able to I did that got me the school fees back. So I was able to go back to school and finish it. So I said, well, there's money in wedding.
In the wedding. All right. I see that.
Yeah, so after that, I think after school I did service. I think during my service time too, I almost did not pursue photography. I almost went back to accounting.
Okay.
But I was preparing to write the chartered accountant exam. Then I remember being in the classroom, all I could think of was photographs.
That's passion.
Yeah, I was like, all I can think about was making photographs. I felt like I was wasting my time in the class. Wow. Like there were times that I dreamed that when I go to bed, I see slideshows of photographs.
Wow.
So at the point, I'm like, nah, I don't think I want to do this accounting. It's not for me.
All right.
So I had to, again, focus on photography. Came back to Accra. I had to try to reach out people who were into photojournalism and documentary. Okay. Reach out to them, try to learn from them. Because then I think that was the time that I was like, okay, I need to be able to make a living out of this.
All right.
Because now I have to be able to live on my own, and I need to find people that way. I think they are making a living. And so I chase these people left, right, center, morning, afternoon, evening, anytime I had the opportunity. Chase them online, chase them physically, and those people were open. Some people were open enough to have their time to spend, to share with you, and also I'm also an observant person. I can just be following around, but then I am learning without you telling me.
All right.
Just watching you alone, the way you are fixing something, the next time I will be able to fix it.
That's good.
So it's one of the things. So it got me to do that, and then I think during the COVID era too, there were times, everything was online now. So there was a lot of opportunity to learn free stuff online, So I took advantage of that, did a couple of workshops, a couple of online courses on journalism, photojournalism, and even photographs itself, how photographs came about, what it means, and how it's being used. So it gave me a better understanding of what I actually wanted to do, and even gave me a reason why I was very much interested in photography or in photojournalism. So that was how it was. So chasing people, learning from people online workshops, and reading. I have a lot of, every book I have in my house has to do with photography.
That's good.
Yeah. So and even visual itself. So yeah.
Right. You actually learned on the job. You taught yourself how to do.
I learned on the job. I taught myself to do it. I learned from people also. YouTube, it was also a great tool. Both the technical and the other aspects. So I learned on the job. I practiced a lot. It was a lot of work.
Right.
A lot of work, just walking in Accra and making photographs, and taking a look at it and all that. So every I tried to find opportunities, and also I came to realize that if I'm going to make a living, there are certain group of people that I can only work with.
Okay.
And organizations, international organizations, local organizations. So I had to also study them also, how they work and all that. So there was a lot of
learning,
personal learning, like wanting to actually do things. And then I still do that.
All right.
Yeah.
I remember after we did an interview in Adan, we engaged you to do about at least 2 or 3 works. I know we did an art project together. We went with you to Kumasi. You did some work for us in Kumasi. How many regions has your work taken you to? How many regions have you gone to because of photojournalism? In Ghana, when you're done with Ghana, you can go outside Ghana.
I can't. I don't think I paid attention to counting.
Would you say you'd have covered all 10 regions, or then all 10 regions, now all 16 regions?
Maybe not all 16 regions.
Okay.
Not all 16 regions, but then I think a few of them.
Okay.
A few of them.
Okay.
I think I myself haven't paid attention, but
all right.
It's giving me opportunity to really understand even the country that I live in, or even my own understanding about life.
All right. With your experience in working in other regions and on different stories, I'm sure you do different projects. What strikes you the most about the differences between once you move out of Accra, everything seems different? Even if you're looking at branding, you're looking at advertisement, unless the ad is from Accra being distributed across country, is different. Living itself, the standard of living across the different regions is even different. What strikes you the most?
The most is always the way of life, and also the way people see things. And it brings me back to people. Everybody, I think that the way of life of people it's also influenced by the information that they have. When we talk, example is people dropping sachet rubber on the streets.
On the street.
And it's also the information that they have. How much information do they have that they shouldn't be doing? This is not what you should do.
Okay.
And so you see the differences. So it's also at the end so it made me know that it's all information.
Okay.
The information that they have influences the way they live. So that's what also I believe photography does.
Okay.
I believe that it does.
It bridges the gap.
Yeah, it bridges the gap. It's able to let someone elsewhere know what's happening here, and hopefully it influences their way of life.
That's true.
Photography is very powerful.
Yes.
That's why you see a lot of people elsewhere being influenced by what they see
pictures,
on the internet.
videos from elsewhere.
Yeah, it's information. The way of life, the standard of living is different. But then also the standard of living is set by some group of people. What a good standard is and what Because example, if you meet someone in the north, and a young person in the north, and then this person is herding a number of cows, a large quantity of cows. In the north, this person is regarded to be from a rich home.
Yeah.
But then if you are from the city and you go there, you think
Yeah.
So the standard of living There's always a difference in it.
It depends on where you find yourself.
Yeah, where you find yourself.
Depends on where you find yourself.
Where you find yourself.
How does the work you do tell the story of Ghana and tell the story of the different regions? How do you think that has been done well enough, or there's still a lot more to be done in terms of telling our stories with photography? I mean, I come from a town where we believe that we are the originators of Kente, right? I haven't seen anyone do any proper documentary on Kente from Agoti Mekweto. And I mean, you know, we've discussed this in the past. So how has photography, it looks like some tribes or some cultures have been able to tell their stories far better than the others. Is it because the camera goes very often, or how? What do you think can be done? And
I think also it's people. Most people will believe that the Kente comes from Bonre, because also it's the information that they have received, and they keep receiving. You know, even when we were young in school, our books said what? No, they had illustrations of Kente in Bonre and all that. So, for that, also is the information that the visual gives. So, when it comes to photography, my work as a photojournalist, pushing the country. I don't know if that was the question, right?
Yeah.
I think there's still a lot. Still a lot to do. There's still a lot to do. Because now visuals or visuals are being communicated on a number of platforms.
Yeah.
So if example is Instagram, because I'll mention Instagram because it's the main platform that I use to share my work.
All right.
If you're having all my work as a photojournalist and you're seeing a wedding and you're seeing another person, or you're just seeing individual posting on the same platform, you are likely to look at all of them as just photographs.
Yeah.
You can't differentiate between, okay, I should see the photojournalist work differently from a wedding. You know, you just see them as images.
Pictures being shared, yeah.
So you are consuming them the same way and not differentiating
what they actually
which information should take from it, you know. That makes it very difficult.
Okay.
You know. So, and then even our newspapers, let's say our newspaper, people who look at newspapers differently. The information that is being given on newspapers, they'll look at it differently from the information that they see on Instagram.
Yeah.
So if they present the newspaper, then it's serious business.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But if it's Instagram,
it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. We are just, you know. So, and also, unfortunately, also our newspapers don't present the visual enough to communicate, the right visuals to communicate whatever they want to do. Because then also there's propaganda. They need to push it in some way.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot to do to use photography to communicate to people, or let's say photojournalism to communicate to people the way it's being done in Ghana. But then also I am very privileged to also work with international organizations where my work is being used, which also helps to shape what the international or foreigners see about what is happening in Ghana, or what Ghana is.
All right.
You know.
I mean, just landing on the question, your last response. I also noticed that you did your picture was used by Gavi, for one of their stories. How many international organizations have you worked for? How do you get all these deals? I mean, initially you said referrals. Referrals brought you to,
and also I've set myself up in a way that you can easily see my portfolio online. So I have a website, my social media is active, and also mainly with the way the working as a photojournalist, to be able to work with other organizations, it has to be referral. But then also, apart from the portfolio, also the professionalism of the work. You need to be a professional. You need to be able to communicate well. You need to be able to. You
Write
need to also
well.
to understand the organization, what they do, what they stand for.
Okay.
So in your conversation with them, they will know that okay, you are the right person
for the job.
for the job. So you need to learn about the organization. You need to learn about what they do and all that. So for the number of organizations, but then there's a number of them, quite a number of them,
Okay.
and these are also well-known organizations in the
So
world.
I actually asked a number, or if you could list a few, because I mean, for the audience who are watching you, who are going to be motivated by what you do,
Right.
what kind of organizations can they work for? I mean, for me, having worked with people in the space, I know that weddings, birthdays are the easiest to do. I mean, when it comes to documentary, when it comes to photojournalism, there's a lot of work that goes into it.
Right.
So why should someone take the time to do that when I can just go shoot a wedding, put it together, and then create an album, give to the bride and the groom, and then take my money? What is there? Because what I see is there's that recognition that you get beyond even whatever you are paid. I mean, your work is known across Ghana, across Africa. I mean, if it's a wedding shoot, once I'm done with you have your album with you, it stays with you. Yeah, but so to motivate those who don't know that there's this opportunity out there, I mean, just list a few. Maybe your top 5.
Yeah, so I've worked. I've worked with Agence France-Presse, French, one of France's biggest, if not the biggest, news agency.
Okay.
I work with them. I'm the main stringer here in Ghana, so we've been working for a number of years now. I've worked with the Associated Press, AP. I've worked with Gavi, you've mentioned. I've worked with UNICEF. I've worked with NASA. I've worked with USAID.
All right.
I've worked with Fair Trade. I've worked with Global Citizen.
Okay.
I've worked with NFL.
Whoa.
I've worked. I'm sure there's a number of them that I'm missing right now, but I've worked with quite a number of well-known.
That's impressive.
Yeah, organizations.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, and it's fun to be called to work with such organizations.
All right. I'm happy to know that such a young person like you is doing so much. I mean, right from Ghana here. So you do your works within Ghana and outside Ghana as well.
Yeah,
so,
but mostly in Ghana. It's I have very few work that I've done
beyond Ghana.
I think the only outside Ghana is only Togo that I've worked.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I was in Togo last month. Yeah.
Okay. So for a young man reading accounting in the same space, the same mindset where you were thinking of pursuing photography, what should they look out for? What should they stand on to make that decision? Is passion alone enough?
For me, it was passion that drew me into the direction at the first place.
Okay.
But then, if you want to also make a living, I think one thing that I made clear all the time when people ask me, when I reach out to people to learn from, one thing that I always made clear to them was, I want to be able to do this and make a living.
All right.
People are not honest about that, and I think that's where the danger lies. Because, you say you love it, but are you making a living
out of it?
You need to be able to. So I made it very clear to whoever I approach to learn from, letting them know that I want to make a living out of it. So it was also one of the things that people decided, okay, we are going to share with you and all that. And that was it. So first of all, for me, the passion has to drive you. The interest, you have to be interested. Even if you don't have passion, you should be interested enough to learn, to go in.
Right.
And I remember I was hanging out with a fellow photographer when I started. And then he introduced me to one of his colleagues. And his colleagues was like, "Kombedu wache. You'll be hungry for a long time.
Before you start making it.
Yeah, so I understood that, and I was willing, because then I was willing to. It was passion that was driving me to still keep going at it and all that. It hasn't been an easy thing to do in this part of the world, you know. And I know there's a number of people that I started this way who I think they later developed other interests and then moved to. So you have to be interested. You have to want to do it. You have to want to learn.
All right.
You know, and then also there's also a lot of ego at play in
the space.
In the space. There's a lot of ego at play. People want to know that they are someone in the space.
Okay.
You know, and I think that can be a killer to a point. You know?
Okay.
I want to feel like celebrity.
Celebrity photographer.
Yeah,
photographer.
to a point. But for me, I think I've been able to manage in a way that it wasn't about the fame. It's about if I'm able to look at the photograph on my PC or in print, and I'm excited within, I can sleep well. So. Yeah, so I think the passion has to, or even the interest, it has to be at first. Because then there are also people that, there'll be a number of training that I've been involved with, you know, training other people, and they don't have the passion, but also they don't have the interest. You know, very few people have the interest, and I also but also don't blame them. It's not easy making
money out of it.
Making a living out of it. It's not easy. So the interest has to be there.
All right. You mentioned that you did some online courses. I'm just wondering if you take out NAFTI, now I think they've combined both NAFTI, and GIJ, and then School of Languages into one university. Yeah. The universities training photographers. Are there institutions training photographers, or you have to check online? You have to do everything online?
This question I wish you didn't ask me.
Okay. Why?
Why? Because there has been some recent institution that is. I'm trying to choose my words carefully.
Okay.
That is, I think, is providing some education to people when it comes to visual, photojournalism and all that. And I do not completely believe in the way things are being done.
Okay.
I do not completely believe in the way things are being done. It could have been other ways to do it, and I don't involve myself with them.
Okay.
Neither do they involve themselves with me.
All right.
But I know what I think they already, it's clear to them.
Okay.
So, but I think the best to want to go about it, the best is all about yourself. Okay. How much work you are willing to put. That self-thought. Don't ever downplay it.
Nothing beats that.
Yes, the best people that I know who are doing it, they are all self-taught.
Okay.
They taught themselves, they learn, they push themselves to get to where they are. Typically, my colleague, I'm calling him my colleague now because also that's how we see ourselves before.
Okay.
But that's how we see ourselves now.
Right.
But then before I understudied him, he was a mentor. I studied his work a lot. Francis. His name is Francis Kokoko. Okay. And now we are more of like colleagues. But he's still my boss. So yeah. So for the institution, I've heard of NAFTI. I've heard about things. I've never been there. I've heard about how they run their things. I know they are they've joined with GIJ now. Yeah. I tried to apply for GIJ, and the way they went about the application, I didn't like it. Yeah, I didn't feel like if I was going to pay my own fees, I must as well have value. I didn't like the way they went about it, so I just let it go. But then also there are also so many opportunities online that I'm taking advantage of. Okay. Yeah.
So you're taking advantage of online spaces that are allowing you to learn and improve your work. It means that you're not taking out learning out of it. You're not taking out the institution out of it. You just feel that our space here in Ghana doesn't really provide you. I mean, per what you know now, I mean, per the work you've done so far, you don't think that anybody is really dealing with what you need to do to be a good photojournalist or to even become a good photographer?
I don't think that there is institutions that are dedicated to pushing it to like the very top.
All right.
You know, it's just like, okay, people just want to have people come and then
teach them, make some money,
give you some
certificate, and
then you go. But then there's more to it, because then photojournalism, Ghana, we need it.
I mean, that's true.
That is how we communicate to the people. That is how we communicate.
That's
to
how
the
we tell our story.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, like that is how we pass beyond the whole glamour visuals that we see online.
All right.
You know, because for what I do, that's presented me opportunities like being in a meeting with presidents. Presidents are in a meeting and I'm there. And I can hear whatever they're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, yo, that information.
This is where the country is going to. This is how the continent is going to.
This is their plan. This is how they're. But how many people have access to this information? I believe if people had even a piece of that information from the meeting,
a lot to go. A
lot
to change.
A lot to change. We will move differently. You know, we'll move differently. So sometimes when I'm in these meetings and I come out and then, you know, and people move, I'm like, no, this is not how we should be moving.
All right.
Because then also these leaders also, these leaders are also trying to push somehow in their own way. But it seems like we are also on another side. We are not on the same side.
The leaders are on another side.
Yeah, so if we are able to have more people doing photojournalism the way it should be done, we could filter through. The photos can filter through all those glamour, you know.
Until the actual story.
Yeah. It's very important. People don't have information in this country. That's the problem.
I mean, access to information makes a whole lot of difference. I mean, if you don't have information, sometimes all you need is someone who tells you that go here and your problem will be solved. Mm-hmm. That alone is enough as an entrepreneur, sometimes just a tool to use in even editing your video.
Yeah.
Who gives you that information?
Yeah, who gives you that information? Yeah. It's difficult. We don't have the information. It's difficult. You know, people don't have information.
But we're also in the world of, I mean, like AI now. I mean, I tell my students that I wish I was in school now, because there's a lot you can do with AI. There's a lot that could be done with AI. Is that playing any role in your space? Is AI playing any key role?
Should never be allowed in photojournalism.
Okay.
AI should never be allowed in photojournalism.
And the reason being that?
Photojournalism is supposed to present you with, you know, a witness account. Should be able to present you with a witness account.
Okay.
But AI is not witnessing the thing. AI is only gathering from
different sources
and putting it together and telling you that this is it. AI is not a witness account. And also I think when it comes to photojournalism, which is supposed to provide information, authentic information or witness account information for the people, if AI comes in,
it changes the narrative.
And also in our part of it, we don't own AI. We don't own it. We don't feed it.
Yeah. So it's largely
so then
information
you are
from
having
other
other people giving you information that you are consuming that you are using to shape your life, and it's to their advantage.
That's true.
You know.
But I also believe that to some extent, AI probably will not be able to edit the pictures. You shouldn't probably edit with AI, but in crafting your story, is AI able to help you craft the story better before you even go out there to shoot? The kind of questions this is the session I'm going into. Are you able to use AI to see what kind of questions you should tease out to elicit the right information to tell the story? for someone who is new to the game and wants to learn how to use camera, wants to learn how to do, is AI able to give you some pointers to use, and not necessarily going to collect pictures on the field and then feed them into AI, do your edit, and then, but is there a way that anybody who is now starting, or even someone who is a professional, can use that to improve the work that is being done? Not necessarily just feed everything wholesale and pick it out, and then that will distort. The work will lose its authenticity. Am I using the word right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
All right.
So, like in photojournalism, like I said, it's a witness account. You don't have the story in your mind before you get there.
Okay.
You get there, what is there is
That's what you do.
So you've been asked, we have heard that there is this happening here, in this space. I can't have the story in my head. Want you to go and come and tell us what is
going on there.
So you go, what is there is what
you come and
photograph.
Report. All right.
So you don't have the story of head before you come.
But if it's a documentary, then it's easier.
Yeah, so if it's a documentary, then you can. But then it still needs to be what it is.
Okay.
You know, it still needs to be what it is without moving away too far from you know.
it.
So I can get an assignment and then there's a brief. Okay, so this is the brief. So let me just use my recent assignment to. So there is an organization that collaborates with another organization in Ghana, and they provide support for farmers.
Okay.
Certain group of farmers, cocoa farmers. And then there are objectives. We want to see, so they give it us, okay, we know this is how cocoa is grown. We want to see it. We know that the family, the cocoa farmers, their families, they have families. We want to be able to trace the generation of families in the cocoa farm. We also want to be able to see how the cocoa moves from the farm, the processes that it passes through all the way to before it gets exported. Okay. We want to see it. And also we want to see the well-being of the cocoa farmers, because we are providing support to them. We also want to see that if the children of the cocoa farmers are actually in school, because we support the farmers enough that they don't have to use the kids in the farm, child labor. So we are trying to avoid. So we also want to see that. How can you let us see that? Okay. So for me personally, what I do is I want to get directly in conversation with the farmer. Okay. You know, and speak to them and understand certain things. And so then I'll have my ideas. Okay, if the kids are truly in school, then I want to see them in school. Yeah. I want to see them at home. And I also want to see them in school.
See their books.
Yes. Right. This person is a farmer. We are providing you support. The organization is supporting you that you have safety precautions in farm. I want to see them. You know, I want to see them. So when I get there, I want to see it and photograph it. I want to see the kids in school, not just the kids in school uniform in the house. No.
You want to see them in your school.
Yes. So sometimes the local organizations, they don't understand why you are putting them through all this. The school is far away. I still want to go to the school and see the kids. Then I want to see the warehouse where they keep their cocoa. Okay. What are the processes that I want to see all of it? I want to see, you know, it goes here, it goes here, it goes here. It looks like it's too much work for them to take me around. I still want to see it.
Them. All right.
You know, because then this is what it is. I want to see it. So for me personally, I do go that extra mile.
Okay.
I've had a client witness it on the field. Even she came from Germany. She was insisting that time is gone. I'm like, no, I want to see it.
Everything.
You know, but then also I believe that this goes a long way to help the farmers. If donors are seeing what their money is being used for, then they'll be able to donate more to support these farmers. So it goes a long way like that. That's what I believe. So I go the extra mile to do all that. You know. I could have just gone and whatever they show me.
That's it.
No,
You take a
but
picture and then
and go. But I also want to see it. But then also it's also for myself to learn. I want to see the process. What really? It's also information for myself.
That's true.
To be able to come and be able to share in a space like this and to other people, because people don't have information like this. Yeah,
that's true. I think once I came across a photograph you took of the National Cathedral. I think it was somewhere had your stamp boldly on it. How do you protect your work? I mean, is that all you do to protect the pictures that you take? Can anybody just take a picture and do whatever they want to do with it?
So I'm not very big on people taking my photograph and using it for what they do. I used to be, when I was coming, why you not crediting me? But then, like I said, people don't have information. So if my photograph is being used to give information to a large number of people, I'm excited. The photograph of the National Cathedral, that was a commission by Bloomberg. So I've worked also with Bloomberg. So there was a story on the National Cathedral because there was a lot of money that was gone into it. It was a very risky
assignment.
Assignment. Because the whole place was security is protected, but we still needed to let people know what was going on in it. So even myself, when I saw the photograph, like nothing has been done at that place. Yeah. So I found out that other people were using it to share information that this is there. I was okay with it. Yeah. I was happy that people are seeing it for themselves and not just Bloomberg using it. You know. So if people are in Ghana, who are you going to chase for using your work?
Yeah. I mean, what do you even achieve from that?
No. Like it's too stressful. Yeah. You know. Yeah. But then I'm happy that it's being used to communicate. It happens all the time. Yeah. All the time. No. So yeah.
I mean, having moved from finance to photography, would you say that even though you didn't become an accountant or go into finance, the things you learned, I mean, in the university have had an impact on the business that you're running now? I mean, running as a photojournalist, you run your own firm.
Maybe not the business aspect, but then definitely going to the university is the knowledge from the university, the general knowledge about things. If you want to do photography, you definitely should go to school, even if it's not just photography school. You need the education, because then it's going to help you to communicate. It's going to help you to know how to deal with people. You know, there's a number of there'll be incidents where photographers get into misunderstanding with clients, and I feel you are not professional enough if you're able to communicate. So I believe you have to have some education to be able to deal with people and also communicate and also be able to move. You know, to navigate. Yeah.
I mean, because we've worked with you in the past, I know usually your invoice will come in. We go back and forth, we agree on the price, and then once we okay that you go in there and then do your work. When you're done, you send in a reminder, gets paid, and then send in the receipt. So I know how. I mean, that's why the question as to whether finance has played a role. Do you employ an accountant, or you do all these things by yourself?
So I have a friend who is an accountant who works with a German firm. I mostly go to him to like explain, especially tax. Okay. So I think at the point he was like, you know what, I'm going to create a template for you to better understand. So he created a template, sent it to me, and then I had to study the template and know how to move with it. So that's why maybe my invoices looks like that. Okay. Yeah. So it's not like my accounting, they have forgotten a lot of them. Right. But he was my friend in accounting class. Oh, okay. Yeah, my very good friend. So he's still working in accounts office. Right. So he helps me to understand these things and all that. Yeah.
I mean, have you mentioned your friend? Collaborations. Do you guys in the space collaborate to do works together? Have you collaborated with anybody to do any work?
Yeah, so you can also live on your own on an island, because then there is information that you have, someone don't have. Someone has information. You have to know who to be able to reach out to for certain information. You can't be everywhere, so there is always a constant collaboration going on, and also it also encourages you to be able to learn. You learn from other people. Okay. People draw attention to certain things, certain way of doing. So there is a constant collaboration, even a collaboration with client. Okay. So sometimes you get assignment, the client has an idea, but then you get to the field and it's totally different. So you, as a professional, that's where the professionalism comes. You need to be able to communicate with the client so that you can be able to achieve results, and not, because then if you travel a long distance, you can't just come back with nothing. So you need to be able to still communicate it and work it. I think that has happened between you and I a couple of times.
I know that.
Yeah. So
I also recall you bringing on someone to take the video for the archways that we did together.
Yeah.
And I mean, usually in our space, you find few people working together when on such projects. So I mean, for me, I was impressed, and that's also one of the reasons why I asked whether you've collaborated with people on other projects. Yes. Where you know that this is where my strength, this is my limit, so this person complements what I do, you bring them on board. And I mean, how has that helped? How do you think that should be encouraged within the space? I mean, and amongst us as Ghanaians and young people starting our own side gigs or businesses?
So me, for collaborating, example like what you mentioned, I had the idea, and then we developed, so I better understand it. But he will better execute it in camera. So I need to tell him, this is what we are planning to do. Can we achieve it? Then he has to come in and tell me, okay, we have to do it this way, we have to do it this way, we have to do it this way.
Sure.
So I know, I'm aware of my strength. I will not, if I can't do it, I'll bring somebody, I will bring somebody in. If the client doesn't insist that I bring somebody in, then I won't be able to do it. And also I've had clients that know I can't do it, but they are trusting me to find the person to do it, and then I'll lead it.
Okay.
Because of how professional
you work.
And I've been with them and all that. And some clients have had other experience with people, and it's bad. So when they've had a very good experience working with you, even though they know you can't do it, they know
trust that you can lead a process.
Yes, you can lead it. They trust that you lead a process, and then all the time I don't take that for granted at all. So I'm able to also identify the right people for the job, right. And then we'll be able to work with. At the end, the work has to be done, and everybody also has to make a living.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, so again, because I've worked with you, I know you work with a serious team. And then how do you put your team together? How do you ensure that you have a team that gels and then willing to go that? I mean, we've gone to villages that on a normal most people wouldn't go to. How do you build your team and ensure that you are working together and working that goal that you define for a specific project?
So it's also, you randomly see people's work online. For me, I'm very observant. So apart from just the work, I observe this person, the way they talk, the way they approach things, the way they carry themselves. I know I can work with, if I can't work with you, I'll know. There are certain times where you've seen someone, the work is very good, but your experience with the person, no. You don't. The person doesn't want to listen to you, even though you are the lead, because they feel they are the one doing most of the work, but you are the lead, and you can. There are also people who are very humble. They know you are the lead. If you want them to do something and they can't do it, they give you a reason why. So then you guys have to collaborate to solve the problem and make the work. So it's just finding people. And then just vibing and just knowing whether you can work with them or not. And then when you find them, you stick to them. So then, for a long while, when you stick to them, then You become a
able to
team. You
build.
both understand each other.
All right.
So whenever there is work, it's easier to just
call
go
everybody
and work together.
All right. Is there any aspect of the Ghanaian culture, society that you want to tell with your photography? Say any project coming up, anything you've seen that you want to tell, a story you want to tell with photography?
So it's I think I've worked on projects that has to do with cocoa for a long time, and I'm very curious about a lot of things. So especially the farmers, and where they live, their standard of living, and all that. So it's been something that I've been wanting to do. So I'm just doing them in bits and pieces, not really like going into it, because also there is work from time to time. It's one of them, and then also I think that there's a number of ideas that I've touched on when it comes to projects, but not really dedicated time and all that, because there's also life to live apart from work. There's also other things to deal with apart from work. So but I hope that one day I'll be able to, when I grow up, I'll be able to fund my personal project enough that I wouldn't have to rely on anybody. Assignments.
Right. That sounds good. So we are almost wrapping up. How would you want people to see your work? You mentioned that on IG, for example, everybody sees a picture as just a normal picture. They are looking at maybe the brightness, the color, edit. How do you hope that when you put out a picture out there, people see it, they understand it the way you think they should understand it? Or like an artist, you want people to know different meaning to the picture?
I think they should look at it that not just a photograph, but information. It has to be information. What's in the photograph? It has to be information, and not just it's nice, or maybe the color is bright, or no. It has to be information to you. You have to look at it. It's information. Because yes, that's how also advertising works. They let you think. They make you think this is the best product. They give you the information that this is the best product. If you're able to look at every other photographs like that, then you know which information is relevant to you and which one is not. They have to look at it as information.
I mean, as we wrap up, from your extensive work and experience you've gathered in the space, what would you say to the young man or the young lady out there who is still looking at something to do, has probably the most expensive phone anybody can have, and all they do is likes and then scroll through pictures and all that? What advice or recommendation would you have for the young people out there?
I think people should be able to pursue what really interests them. If it interests you enough, you have to be able to pursue it. I don't think anything is easy. I don't think even the wealthiest man on earth, things are very easy with this person. Everybody has their struggle. So I think people should really pursue what they are interested in, and be able to work at it. If you're interested in it, you have to pursue it. It's not easy for anybody. It doesn't matter who the person is. Even the president Akufo-Addo, it's not easy for him leading a country like Ghana.
It's not easy for the president.
It's not easy for the president at all to lead a country like Ghana.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that. Any insights, any last words you want to share with our audience? We are in an election year, so
I think that people should be able to accept themselves and to really try to accept themselves and be themselves. It's a very difficult thing to say. It's a very difficult thing to do, because we live in a society where we have to succeed. Everybody's watching you to succeed. Everybody is watching you to be something. but it takes courage to actually be yourself and be able to pursue. I think people should be able to, they should strive to be the best of themselves.
All right.
And not let society pressure, the pressure there is there, but you should be able to do it. Yeah.
All right. So Dennis, thank you very much for spending time with us.
All right, thank you, Mr. Marty.
Yeah, we appreciate having you. But I look forward to getting in touch with you again. As our platform grows bigger, I'm sure there'll be a lot for you to share with us.
For sure.
If anybody wants to reach out to you, I'm sure your website is...
Yeah, I think you can just Google my name and I'm sure they'll find me.
Dennis Nipah, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Once they Google my name, they should be able to find me. Yeah.
Once again, my name is Kwame Mati. Follow us on this journey by subscribing to our channel.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right, Charlie.